a book, some glasses, a clicker and a microphone, so just bear with me while I do this. I was really appreciative that you tried a completely different way to tell your story today, so I'm also going to do that. I didn't watch Equus's great presentation before I decided to do this, and I'm going to tell you a story. So you get the before version as opposed to the homed version that I might tell you after I've watched your presentation. I'm going to tell you a fairy tale story of sorts, but it's about an L&D challenge. And as you probably all had an L&D challenge, I would like to ask you to play a part in the story, and also because that will mean you don't fall asleep, as it's quite late in the day. So you do have choice, that's important, as Jerry told us, but I'd like to strongly encourage you to play the part of the magic stool in my tale of the three-legged stool. So if you're willing to do that, that would be great. When I say to you, and the stool said, and give you sort of generally encouraging eyes like this, then it would be great if you just reply with your thoughts, questions, responses, any input that you want to give at that point. Is that okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Glasses on. Okay. Once upon a time, in a land not so far away. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story about an L&D challenge. Once upon a time, there was a learning and development manager, and their role was to provide learning initiatives that increased leadership capability and solved specific capability gaps in the organisation. After several enthusiastic years, she soon discovered that it was much more challenging than it first appeared. People enjoyed the courses and they had a lot to say about the sandwiches, but they didn't seem to make a tangible difference. She kept her head down and she persevered. She worked away, responding to the organisation's wishes, plugging gaps and delivering great training schedules. And every year she asked the business what they needed. They gave the same answer. The needs were the same. But she kept her head down and she persevered. One day, while searching for yet more flip charts and sticky notes, she found a magic three-legged stool. Yes, she did. Okay, awesome. She sat on the stool and she pondered whether she should retrain as a plumber. Why weren't leadership programs making a difference? Why was she constantly being asked to plug the same knowledge and skills gaps? And the stool said, why? That's right. Many leadership programs don't even define leadership well. Exactly. Let alone distill what it means to be a leader into something memorable and actionable. There are too many models and there is just too much theory. Deepening into her existential angst, she asked the stool, "Do you believe leaders are born or made?" And the stool said,
Born.
What do we say at the back?
Born.
Born. Ah, born. Divided. Ah, she said. Me too. So we can learn it, which means we can teach it. Do you think everyone can be a leader regardless of job title or seniority? And the stool said,
Yes.
You're really getting into this. Me too. So what if we could teach people a simple way to define leadership that anyone could use? Something pragmatic that enabled them to spend less time thinking about it and listening to Jim Collins podcasts and more time just doing it. That's disappointing. So, what if, with a shared understanding of things that help them perform well, teams could just talk openly about how they were doing? What if it wasn't the leader's role to fix stuff all the time? And the stool replied, "My dear, have you not met the 3 C's? Clarity, climate, and competence. For these 3 C's are the conditions for success. When they are present together, they contain magical powers to increase individual and team performance. The L&D manager perked up. "Tell me more," she said. The conditions for success are a simple and pragmatic way to create high performance. They give leaders and teams a common language to assess, discuss, and work together to accelerate performance. And they're underpinned by the philosophy that leadership is a set of skills and behaviours that anyone can learn. Not specific to role, not specific to hierarchy. Anyone in any role can lead by creating the conditions for success. Okay, so clarity is not just about information, it's about purpose, vision, and who, and the why, and who will do what, and how it will be measured. And understanding is really important. Yes, we can communicate, but to ensure high performance, everyone needs to understand deeply what it is they've been asked to do and why it's important. There are two parts to climate. There's the emotional part, how we behave around here, how we relate to each other, and there's the physical part, the resources, the systems, the things that we need to get our job done. And then there's competence, the knowledge and skills, but even more importantly, the mindset and the behaviours that generates for us to do the work we need to do. So let me get this straight. You're telling me that when these things are in place, people perform better in their jobs. So this is leadership. Yes, said the stool. Creating the conditions for success for yourself and others. Yes, said the stool, and anyone can do it. Yes, and all you need is clarifying. The stool said,
Yes.
Yes.
Climate competence.
yes, thank you, Lisa, hello. Clarity, climate, and competence. You see, if one of these is missing, people don't have what they need to do a great job. Think about it. We often misdiagnose a performance problem as a competence issue, but it's often not. It's a clarity issue. "Ah," said the L&D manager, "I keep churning out all these training schedules each year, and that's because I've been asked to fill a competence gap when it could be..." Yes! Wow, you see, all these three things need to be in place, and all three are equally important. It's like a three-legged stool. If one of the legs is missing or shorter than the other, it just doesn't do its job well. The L&D manager stared at the stool. "What a wonderful metaphor you are, stool. I will now always remember the 3 C's. Over the coming months, the L&D manager used the 3 C's more and more. She found magical powers in applying it in different contexts. She used it as the basis for leadership development programs, creating a common language of leadership for everyone. She used it to consult with the business to ensure that solutions went beyond competence and looked at how clarity and climate were established. She used it as a framework for her program design, making sure that each program created clarity, climate, and competence. And she used it within her own team, regularly discussing what was needed and what was missing. And occasionally, the stool would get wobbly. After all, an organisation is just a collection of people with a common goal, and the conditions within it are dynamic. But one of the team would often notice before she did, and they would tighten the screws. And like many leaders in many organisations, she would sigh and think how relieved she was that she wasn't always the one who needed to fix it. And they all lived happily ever after.